Hey, what's up, YouTube? I'm back with another radio control model. And what we see here is obviously all you can read, but we have the Von Gettin Jr. Edition Savage XS Flux. And now you're looking at it, you're probably wondering, well, wait a minute, doesn't the thing come with green wheels? Yes, it does. There's the green wheel right there. This is just basically going to be a quick overview and some things to get the most out of your Savage XS Flux. Alright, first things first, these tires and wheels are from my HPI E-Firestorm and Nitro Firestorm. And the cool thing is that because HPI uses a proprietary hex configuration, all their wheels will generally fit all their other vehicles if they have that little tit sticking out of the hub there. So I put these on there because I've been actually doing some runs with this truck. And the truck runs fantastic. I went through and did a bunch of different setup on this vehicle, and I'm going to try to help you get the most out of yours as well. One thing you'll notice when out of the box, you get it basically as you see, except with these green wheels and the power pin tires. I got to tell you that the rubber is a very sticky rubber compound. So on dirt, this thing should have a lot of grip. On concrete, they'll probably have a lot of grip on concrete. However, don't expect those pins to last too long. So there you go with that. Next step we're going to get into here is I've done some upgrades to mine here already. We're going to go ahead and remove the shell. I've already pulled the body clips. And then there's what you got underneath here. Here is your motor, 4,000 kV. I believe that is. I don't know if you can see it there. Probably not. I believe that's a 4,000 kV motor. The motor or speed control here is. It's from what I understand of it. It's a hobby wing. Speed control and motor setup. That's about all I know about it. If it's 80 amps or 100 amps, I do not know the specifics on it. If I was to do some further research, I could probably find out. Now, as far as upgrades to this, I did change the steering servo in this from the stock one. The stock servo is slow. If any of you guys watch the videos, you know that the stock servos and ready to runs absolutely suck. I don't care who makes it, whether it's HPI who makes it, whether it's Associated, whether it's Lowe's, whoever. They all suck. Even Taraxis's stock steering servos really kind of suck, to be honest with you. So needless to say, I put a high tech in here, a 5646 WP. I put a waterproof servo in here, and unfortunately I'm not going to pull out my tools and pull all this apart. I can show you. There you go. There's the wire, though. Yellow, black, and red wire. So that should be enough for you to see that. If not, I can even pop the battery door. Pop the battery door, and you can look in there and see that the servo itself is blue. Now, as far as the vehicle too, it does come with this foam to put in there as like a spacer for the battery. Other than that, that's really about it on that part of it. These little tabs, no issues with these tabs. They hold closed. I do run 2S and 3S in this vehicle. Bear in mind, with a 2S LiPo, it is fun, but 3S just ups the speed factor and the fun factor up quite a bit just because the vehicle just has so much power with 3S. Now, we'll move on to my upgrades real quick. First off, I put on this is the sway bar kit. And let me see, I think I got a part number for that one. 106731. There is your sway bar set for the Savage XS Flux. And I did put in the CVD axle shafts in here, the stock HPI ones. Unfortunately, I don't have that that instruction manual for that, because it didn't even come with one. It's pretty self-explanatory for those. Now on the rear, on the rear, again, sway bar, but I got dog bones in it right now. I do have CVDs for the rear coming for it. And I do have additional upgrades coming, like the, 62, 32 tooth idler and a 24 tooth pinion, and various other upgrades like the adjustable upper links here and here. I ordered the HPI ones from eBay for it. And I ordered the center universal shafts that go into the gearbox that go up here, and the hardened cups for the transmission. I didn't find anybody who had the hardened cups for the diffs on the front here and here, front and rear. So there you go with that. Now, one of the first things you're going to want to do to this truck when you get it out of the box, okay, they have the preload collars on the shocks. They have them adjusted down so many millimeters per side, okay? Now what happens is when you set the truck down, it really doesn't have a lot of droop, okay? So what you want to do is take the vehicle, fully load it up, put your battery pack in it, put everything in there. You can leave the body off. The body hardly weighs anything, honestly. And then take the truck, and then generally how I do it is from the back side. And what I do is I'll set the vehicle down and let the vehicle settle. Okay, so let me see if I can get this to come in better. I'll pick it up, and then I'll set it down. Now, when it settles, you kind of want the dog bones to be level, if not maybe on a slight angle down towards the wheel. And then you'll do that on the front and the rear. Now what you're doing is you're actually setting the vehicle for, running it properly. And if you've owned any other vehicle like a Losi or Associate, if you have any racing aspirations with vehicles, then that's one of the first things you want to do is reset the whole preload system on the vehicle, kind of get it where the vehicle has got a little bit of droop. Now the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to tweak your speed control. And now let me move the truck out of the way, and we'll go to the book. Okay, here's the book. All right, you are going to want to go in this manual and read on how to set this guy up. Now, how I ran mine is I ran mine with the number 2 setting. The drag brake force, I think I upped mine to 10%. LiPo cutoff, I took mine up to 3.4 per cell. I find that with some speed controls, 3.2 might be a little on the low side. So I figure I'll just play it safe, go to 3.4, because I do buy good LiPos, and good LiPos do cost a little bit of money. And, I hate spending, I don't want to buy a, $80 or $50 LiPo and start having the thing puff up on me and everything else. And then, it is about a month later, I'm spending another $50 on a LiPo. I mean, that just makes the hobby, you're just throwing money at it. Start mode punch. I did adjust this. I think I adjusted it to level 3 or level 4. I think I'm level 4. I don't think I went to level 5. And what that's going to do is that's going to basically keep the truck from wheeling right off the rip from a dead start. I think with 4 it will. It comes pretty close, but if you don't want it to wheelie right off the get, then I would go start at level 3. Max brake force. This is the actual braking force. When you move the trigger to full brake, that's the force it's going to give. I would say keep it at 50 or move it up to 75%. I think I got mine up to 75%. Max reverse force is the amount of power the vehicle will have in reverse. I think I left mine at 50, or I did up it to 75. I think I left it at 50 though. Max forward force, I would just leave that right at 100. Because you'll notice if you drop the levels down, it does effectively slow the vehicle down quite a bit. Reverse active mode, 2 clicks, I left that. Motor timing, you know, I tried playing with this because I was reading on forums about the motor timing and the issues that this truck has with the actual overheating of the motor. I was trying to go back and move the timing from 15 degrees to 0, which I think I got it. Because if you add more timing on your motor or from your speed control, heat will build. And the truck is already geared kind of high to begin with, which I'll go to that section in the manual here so you can actually see the gearing. And then lastly, overheat protection. I just left it at 105. Yes, the speed control does have a fan on it. However, I figure that the lower the temperature, amount of heat that the speed control has to endure, the longer the life of the speed control will be. So with that being said, that's that. Now let me flip through this damn book here, and I will see if I can find us anything in regards to that gearing. No, this is just parts. Oh, here, let me see. I can get you to see if this book's got the aftermarket parts for it, or the hop-up parts for it. Last page, last page. Okay. All right, here you go. The front axles I put in there, CVDs, are the 106709s. I ordered out a set of the 106730s. Those are coming. I did order the wheelie bar set, the 106408 for it already. I do have the E-Clip Eliminator suspension shaft kit, the 106712. Those are the outer pins on the arm. They go into your rear bearing carriers and your front knuckles. And then I ordered the adjustable upper arm set. And I will talk a little bit more about that, about the vehicle. This guy I really want to get right here, the 106733, but I can't seem to find anybody in the world who has that part. So I don't know what the story is with that. But anyway, all right, back to the gearing. Let me see if I can go back to that. We'll get to the chart. Here you go. Here's the chart. Okay. The truck comes standard with a 56-tooth idler and a 28-tooth pinion, which gives you a final drive ratio of 9.423. Okay. Now for 3S running, they recommend to go to a 60-tooth idler with a 24-tooth pinion, which gives you an 11.779. In all honesty, HPI, I really honestly think that that's probably what you should have started with in the first place for this truck, because you should have started with a 60-tooth and then given us the option, give us the 30-tooth, or even give us 24 right out of the rip, and then make the 56-tooth an option. But obviously, that's not the way they designed it, engineered it, or are selling the vehicle that way. So there you go. There is the chart on the gearing. I'm sorry about the glare, guys. Lighting for me is never that great. All right, now we'll put all that away. Now let's go back to that Camber Link situation I was talking about. On all the XS videos, Savage SX videos I've ever come across, I've always noticed on the stock tires, they always wear this inner edge out on both sides. Okay. Now, coming from a racing background, I assumed automatically that, well, maybe it's the length of the link. Maybe the link is too short, and it's got an excessive amount of camber gain. Well, operating the suspension through the movement, it's really not so much the camber gain through the suspension movement from what I can see of it. It's just the fact that the thing has just a lot of negative camber. So when I ordered the adjustable pieces for it, the adjustable camber links for it, we're going to go ahead and set these at like -1 front and rear. That should put a little more contact patch on the road or dirt, and that should help eliminate a little bit more of that, eliminate that inner tire wear. A lot of other issues that people have talked about with this truck, especially on the forums, is these guys popping off, these turnbuckles on the bell crank and whatnot. You know, I have not had that issue as of yet with this. Maybe I got a good one. Maybe the HPI made some changes tolerance-wise to the ball cups. I don't know. But that's with that. Boy, oh boy, I'm just trying to think of other things. Because of HPI's recent issues that they've had with their administration, that basically it's their version of bankruptcy over there in Europe and everything, HPI has been having a little bit of trouble. So anyway, parts are coming here. They're very slow to move right now. I know that they're in the midst of trying to get everything going. One thing I do like is the green springs. I think they do accent the body pretty well, honestly. And obviously the green tires and wheels will too. But since I've been running on pavement a lot, I definitely didn't want to tear up these really, really nice power pin tires with the green wheels. Man, it'd be a shame to tear these things up. I mean, for hard packed dirt or clay, these might work okay. But I hate to tear them up on the concrete. I do like it though. I do like the whole color scheme of the vehicle itself. So anyway, there you go. What I meant to go over this about the speed control too, and I should have. Let me go back to the manual. I'll kind of try to cover it with you. Programming the speed control can be slightly difficult. And let me see if I can get back to that section of the book here. And you have to do what the manual says, but it's kind of tricky to understand how the speed control is doing the programming. Setting all that up. Man, no, I'm probably not going to find the page. I'll tell you what I'll try to do, if I can't find that page here any time, is I will do a separate video on how to program it, so that way you guys understand how to do it, because I'm not about to pay big money for this guy right here. HPI, I think, wants a little bit of money for that. I'm not about to buy it and then adjust it and then return it, because my luck, I'll buy it and I'll just keep the damn thing and I'll probably never use it again. So, but you can adjust it, you can program it. Here you go. Okay, first thing you got to do is start out over here. It tells you to hold the setup switch, turn it on, and then the red LED will flash, and then the green LED will begin to flash. Now, once the green LED begins to flash, you have the green LED will flash once for running mode, twice for drag brake, 3 for lipo cutoff, 4 for start punch, and so on all the way down to line the number 10. Okay, now what you got to do is you can't program everything all at once with the speed control and just shut it off and be okay, it's good to go. You have to go through each mode one at a time, all the way down to 10, if you want to adjust everything, to set the speed control. So you have to, like I said, you have to press the set button, or hold that down, turn the speed control on, wait for the green LED to flash. If it flashes once, that's running mode. If it flashes twice, so once you get to that setting, then you make the adjustment to the speed control. Then you turn the speed control off. Then you repeat the procedure again and again and again, all the way to number 10. It's really kind of stupid to do it that way. I don't understand why they couldn't let you go through and just change all the settings in one shot instead of doing that way. But I found that that's to be the only way to do it from my experience with it. So anyway, there you go. I will say overall, the Savage XS Flux is a very fun little truck. I picked this up on Tower Hobbies for $294. I think I used one of their coupon codes for this vehicle, and it so far so good. I mean, I did scratch it up a little bit up here, a little bit there, and back here. I try not to scratch it up. I mean, everything else for this things are hard to find, so I'm trying to kind of baby it a little bit, not get too rough. Durability, I haven't been very rough with it, but I can tell you, just from my running of the vehicle, it has been relatively durable, but I don't beat the snot out of them either. Oh, and lastly, while we're talking about those heavy-duty and upgrade parts and whatnot else, let me see if I can see. We can see it through here or not. We're probably not going to be able to. Okay. Well, anyway, the diff out. Oh, there you go, right there. Probably get it right there. Right in there. There's your transmission diff out drive cup right there. And then you got the front side where the slipper clutch is too, right over here. Okay. When you run on 3S LiPo, you're going to see the wear of those pieces go up exponentially because the 3S has just got so much more power than 2S, just the way the speed control does it. Even just when I turned down my settings, on the vehicle and drove it, I noticed that there's already wear on that shaft already. And I've ran this thing probably 2 or 3 more battery packs more than I did on 2S. I've driven this thing maybe about a half a dozen times already. So yeah, those upgrade parts for mine are coming. Definitely worthwhile getting those if you plan on getting this thing, keeping it, and beating the snot out of it. So anyway, yeah, definitely set up your speed control properly because this thing definitely will be able to wheelie. Set it up until you get the wheelie bar, at least. Set it up to where at least that way the thing doesn't take off like a bat out of hell on you and tear up the car, unless you enjoy tearing them up. Which, I mean, to me this hobby costs too much money as it is. Not that I'm a cheap ass, but the hobby to me is just it's getting to the point where it's just expensive, and especially if you're a married man and you have this hobby and you have a child to raise and everything else, and both you and the missus work and have newer dependable vehicles, blah blah blah. It gets expensive. So there you go. And then set up, like I said, set up your ESC properly, set your shocks up properly, and then and I think you'll find that your driving experience with the truck will be a little more controllable, will be a little more enjoyable, and you're less likely to tear up drivetrain parts and everything else. Everything will just exponentially last a little longer. So there you go. If I happen to think about it and get a minute, I'll see if I can make a video on how to program the ESC for you guys so you can actually see it in person and whatnot. And then let me show you the front of the body there. Unfortunately, that lighting sucks. I need to do something about that. And then there's the rear. So hopefully my next video that I do about this vehicle, I will have all the rest of my upgrades on it, and we will be able to go from there. All right, YouTube, thank you very much, and I hope this is an enjoyable video, and I probably rambled on more than I should. So enjoy. Thanks.